Absolutely.
So what are some of the signs? What are some of the signs of Alzheimer's? If a person listening to this show want to know, well, because most of the time it's only after it happens that people realize that they were diagnosed with with
Absolutely.
Alzheimer's disease. So someone listening to this show across the world, throughout the globe here, what are some of the signs that they can probably look out for to say, well, we are getting some signals here?
So it's important to also have this understanding. We through research and different things, we have developed something that is called the 10 warning signs and why early detection matters. But
Mm-hmm.
I want you to keep in mind that sometimes these signs doesn't necessarily mean that the person is having Alzheimer's or any other type of dementia. Sometimes can be because the person is stressed out. There are a lot of things happening. So I want to clarify that. So, for example, one of the things that we see is when memory lost that actually start disrupting your daily life. Okay, keeping that in mind, think about challenges in planning or solving problems, things that you are used to, like going to the supermarket, getting a list of your groceries, what you have to do, and then being there, and all of a sudden you don't recall why are you there, what is that you're doing there. Those type of things, you have to start worrying. Difficulty
Mm.
completing familiar tasks. And when we say familiar tasks, it's like that. You every month you pay your bills, you
Mm-hmm.
pay your light bill, and not suddenly you start forgetting. It can happen. Sometimes we miss doctor's appointments, things like that. But when it starts happening too repetitive, that it actually start disrupting your daily life, that's when you really have to worry. One of the biggest signs is when people are having confusion with time and places. Yeah, meaning that sometimes somebody might be driving and you get to a certain place and all of a sudden you're like, what I'm doing here, you don't even recollect driving to that place.
Hmm.
So this part, trouble understanding everything that has to do with visual uh, images and spatial relationships. That's why when we have a conversation with physicians about somebody having this type of experience, some of the times it's better for the person if they start showing the real signs to kind of like stop driving, because that's where usually people get involved. I mean, if you're here in Florida, you see that all the time that somebody was in the parking lot and instead of going back, they pull forward and they go into shopping places, and it's usually an elderly person having issues with that type of things. Another very very familiar sign is when somebody has problem with speaking and words. So let's say we're having a conversation and then suddenly I'm struggling to get my words out, or I cannot keep on with a conversation. Like there is spaces in between, and I try to get back into the conversation and I don't find the words to keep doing that. Another thing is misplacing things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and losing the ability to research to retrace our steps. For example, I forget where I put my keys all the time. All the time is happening. But then, after a while, I just say, well, I came in, I did this, here are my keys. When people are experiencing more severe problems with dementia or Alzheimer's, is you will put the keys in your place and you will never remember where the keys are.
So
Those type of things.
talking about that, I may just be smiling, but those points and hints or signs or symptoms of Alzheimer's. Now, many wives would think that their husbands got Alzheimer's from day one when they got married, because they're always misplacing their keys and they're forgetting where they're going, and oh my goodness. But that's just a joke. However, but these are some interesting symptoms
No,
because
and like I say, you have to keep in mind that sometimes, we tend to forget things because our mind is occupied in other more important things that, might be having stressful situations, dealing with family and
hmm
other external things that will not allow us to keep track of different things. And one sign that is very, very interesting is the decrease of poor judgment. And the reason why is because Alzheimer's usually start attacking the frontal lobe of your brain, right? And when that start happening, that's what controls the way that you judge and do things. So sometimes, when people are in a certain stage, words, they just come out. They don't have the
Okay.
filter. They don't have the
Right.
filter.
That is
Somebody might be
interesting.
walking on underwear on the streets because the judgment is gone.